Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd like to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can share some wonderful information about chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we got a little bit through the chapter. I just wanted to do a quick summary of what we have been through. The summary of the whole chapter is that previously the Lord had referred very briefly to the three modes of material nature. But in chapter 14, this chapter we're looking at, he gives a lot more detail about the three gunas, modes of material natures. These three qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance, they permeate everything that we do in our lives, whatever we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Our lifestyles, attitude, behaviors, they all fall under these three modes. And if we do a thorough, close analysis, we can perceive how people are influenced and function in this world with a mistaken belief of that they have free will, but actually they are impelled to act according to the influences of the three modes of material nature. So, therefore, unless one is able to transcend these three modes of material nature, we will continue to act as if trapped in this material world. And even if we are good, because there's three qualities: ignorance, passion, and goodness. So we may not be ignorant, we may not be passionate, we may be in the mode of goodness, but even that is not good enough. And we'll see in a little while why. So the themes of this chapter are: what are these three modes of material nature? How do they work? And what are the attributes of somebody who is in these three modes? And that's where we were last time, and we were going through, we started going through the survey of where we are according to different types of activities. And I wanted to continue with that. But just before that, let's just do something else. And how we can transcend these modes as well. So Krishna gives a whole shebang in this chapter. What are these modes? How do they work? How do we recognize what mode we're in? And how to transcend or get over these modes. So let's just have another look at something else. So we looked at chapters 1 to 9. That's where Krishna describes what the three modes are. And basically we have fallen into this into this material world. We're eternal living entities. Our nature is no connection with this material world or the three modes of material nature. But because we've started to associate with this world, we've got trapped in it. So and what is the trap? The trap is these three material modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. We become conditioned by those three modes. Everything we do is within those three modes of material nature. So then Krishna describes how to understand these modes working. And it's not that maybe we're just in one mode all day. No, there's a competition between the modes. Sometimes we may be in goodness, sometimes passion, sometimes ignorance. Just depends on perhaps the time of day, because in the morning, we may be a little bit in a meditative mood, and as the day goes on, we will be working hard. So passion will kick in. In the evening, we'll be tired. So maybe ignorance will kick in at that time. But some people may be predominantly in a certain mode, goodness. And those would be the Brahmins, the qualified Brahmins who study the scriptures, who worship the deities, They may be in this mode of goodness predominantly. Those who want to, have to work and do so many things, have so many desires to fulfill, predominantly they'll be in the mode of passion. And those who are lazy and don't want to do anything and perhaps want to almost destroy themselves and others as well, predominantly they may be in the mode of ignorance, subject to all sorts of crazy things, doing crazy things. So that we won't go into detail. Now we looked at this. This is where we were. And, oh, Shruti's not here?
Not yet.
Oh, let me see if she's coming. Let's check. So this is where we were, and let's just quickly go through this to understand where we are. Incarnations. Good. So let's actually go to the slokas in that case. I can stop share. And we can share this. And we can do from 14. Hare Krishna. Shruti.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Great timing. Brilliant timing. So I was thinking we can do from 14 to 18 again.
Okay.
And then we'll go through that survey. So who would like to do the English? Anybody like to read the English translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I do it, please?
Yes. Who's this? Is it Yogini?
Yes, please.
Oh, very good, Yogini. Yes. So Shruti, you can start with text 14. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yada sattve pravriddhe tu pralayam yati deha bhrit tadottama vidam lokan amalan pratipadyate.
When we dies in the mode of the goodness, he attains the pure higher plants of the great sage. Is it?
Rajasi pralayam gatva masangishu tatha praleenastamasi mudhayonishu jayate.
When one dies in the mode of the position, he takes the birth among those engaged. Am I right? Might be engaged in the fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of the ignorance, he takes the birth in the animal kingdom.
Karmana. Oh, Prabhuji, I think.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you are reading this. Okay, good. Thank you. I thought you were reading from your own book.
I usually do, but now
Okay.
I have joined from my laptop, so I'm reading from the screen. It's easier for me. I usually join via phone. The phone screen is too small.
Okay, thank you.
Karmana sukritasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam.
Hare Krishna. The result of the pious action in the pure and is said to be in the mode of the goodness, but the action done in the mode of position result in a misery, and action performance in the mode of the ignorance result in a fulness.
Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramada mohau tamaso bhavato jnanam eva cha.
From the mode of the goodness, real knowledge develop from the mode of the position, greedy develop, and and from the mode of the ignorance develop the foolishness, madness, and the illusion.
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः.
Those situated in the mode of the goodness gradually upwards to the higher planets. Those who mode of the position live on the earthly planets, and those in the abnormal mode of the ignorance to grow to the hellish worlds.
Hellish worlds, yes. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Yogini.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yogini. Okay, so very nice. So we did go through this last week, 2 weeks ago. Let's just do it again. So this is describing reincarnation, actually. Is the process by which a soul receives a new material body on the following basis of activities performed in the present body. Our activities are a result of the decisions we make. Our decisions are ultimately based on the modes which we are influenced by. So if we're influenced by mode of goodness, then our decisions will be reasonably good. If we're influenced by mode of passion, then our decisions will be completely dependent on our desires, which are innumerable. If we're in a mode of ignorance, then our decisions will be painful, not just to ourselves, but to others. Krishna predicts the future destination of a person based in a predominant mode in their life. So he says, if one is in the mode of goodness, they'll go to the higher planets, heavenly planets. One who is in the mode of passion, they'll continue to live in this world, in our planet. Those who are in ignorance will go down to the hellish planets. So let's work out which mode we are in. We can do this survey. I hope everybody's got a pen and paper. Can everybody write? As I've forgotten how to write because I only use the computer. No, only joking. We have a tendency not to use pen and paper so much. But if you can, have a pen and paper in front of you and see if you can tot up your scores. Where are you? Now, we won't question you where you are. I might question a few people, but anyway, I won't. But it's good to do this survey just to give us an idea. Where do we think we are in terms of the modes? Are we in goodness, passion, ignorance? And there's one more mode, which I wanted to explain to you. It's called pure goodness. That's a spiritual platform. So ignorance is effectively somebody who's in complete delusion, madness, sleeping all the time, lazy. Now, none of you will be in that category. Passion, most people are in this category. Intense desires, intense endeavors. We want so many things. I want an iPhone, I want a new iPhone, a new car, new wife, new home, new new everything. I want new, but never satisfied, even when one gets it. Very attached. Goodness is somebody who he is or she is not inclined to do any sinful activities, very straightforward in their dealings, and they follow the rules and the regulations. But pure goodness is somebody who is completely devoted to God. He's got no other motivation other than to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simple as that. So let's now, if you think your number in ignorance, then mark yourself a 3 in any of these. Okay. If you think you're in the what describes you accurately is passion, then mark yourself a 2. If you think goodness is where you stand, according to your qualities and your behavior, then mark yourself a 1. And if you think you can fall into the category of pure goodness, that you can transcend all 3 modes in accordance with these understandings, then mark yourself a 0, right? So let's go through it one by one. Is everybody okay? Does it make sense what we're going to do?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. If any questions at any times, please do ask. Just you can raise your hand or you can just shout out. Okay. So manifestations and characteristics. Are you deluded? I mean, nobody's going to put 3 here because you wouldn't be even on this Zoom call if you were in this in category number 1, in this ignorance category. Okay, let's do number 2. Passion. So lots of desires, lots of hard work, really attached to the family, to the friends, to eating, etc. Goodness would be somebody who's sinless, basically. And pure goodness would be somebody who's completely got full faith in God, unflinching faith, unmotivated faith. Okay, that's the characteristics and manifestation. Let's do number 2. Charity. When you give charity, do you give anywhere without not caring for who that person is? So if somebody's sitting in front of the liquor shop and you give them £1, is that you? Then maybe 3 is appropriate, because that charity is not regarded to be good charity. That's ignorance, because that person will use that money to further degrade his life, and you have been responsible for that because you've given money. So that's why it's ignorance. Or is it passion? I've given you, put my name in lights that I have given you money. Or I want something back. I want a favor. It's a business transaction. That's passion. Or are you just going to give because it's the right person at the right time and it's a matter of duty, and you don't want anything in return? That's good. Goodness. That's number 1. Or are you just going to give to the Supreme Lord to please him? That's it. The fine line between goodness and pure goodness. Okay, very fine line. But if you're always going to give to the Supreme Lord and his devotees, mark yourself a 0. That's very good. Food. Do you like tasteless, stale food? It's gone off, perhaps. Not gone off, but maybe it's been in the fridge for a couple of days. Cooked more than 3 hours before eating. Meat, fish, and eggs falls definitely in the category of ignorance. If you like food which is too bitter, too salty, too hot, too rich, too tasty, too dry, which causes pain, distress, and disease, that's passion. If you like food which is, you're gonna like this, nourishing, sweet, juicy, fattening, it doesn't mean cholesterol fattening. It just means fattening in a nice way. Positive, good cholesterol. Milk products, grains, sugar. And again, this is not white sugar. This is gold, perhaps. Fruit and veg. So effectively, that food increases your longevity. Passion and, onion and garlic is in this category, by the way. Passion. If you like onion and garlic, mark yourself a 2. But 1, if your food is healthy, and if it's only prasad, if you only eat prasad, everything you eat is offered to God before you eat it, mark yourself a 0. And really, that's the standard. Even if you buy a packet of crisps from outside, offer it to God before you eat it. Objects of worship. Anybody worshipping ghosts and spirits? An example would be Halloween. I don't think anybody here. Anybody worshipping actors? Amitabh Bachchan, or cricket stars, or football stars. Anybody worshipping demigods? So Lord Shiva, Brahma, Ganesh, Kartikeya, Hanuman. Hanuman, of course, is a pure devotee, so he would fall into He's not a demigod. He's a pure devotee. You worship Hanuman, that's all right. As long as you don't worship him as God. If you worship him as devotee, perfectly fine. Lord Shiva, if you worship him as devotee, perfectly fine. But he's not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So some people worship demigods to get material gains. So mark yourself for one if you are in that category. If you only worship Krishna or his avatars, Ram, Nasingha, Mach, Kach, Varaha, Nasing, Vaman, Pashuram, Ram, Krishna, Balaram, Bodha, Kalki, all of them, mark yourself for 0, because that's in the mode of pure goodness. Okay, I'm going to move on, unless there's any questions or comments. There's about 16, hang on, let's see how many there are actually. 15 questions, so not too many, and some of them are very easy. Okay, let's, oops. Next one, sacrifice. So, performed faithlessly in defiance of scripture injunction with no spiritual food distributed. So we do a yajna, but we don't chant any mantras. We just put some wood and samagri into the fire. We don't pay the priest. We don't distribute food, and we ignore the scriptures. That's ignorance. Number 3, passion. We do it because we want something in return. I'm doing a yajna and I want a daughter or a son. That's mode of passion. Mode of goodness. We're doing a yajna. We do sacrifice out of duty, out of no profit, nothing in return. We're just doing it because we want to satisfy the Supreme Lord through scriptural injunctions. Again, this very fine line, goodness and pure goodness. We do a yajna just to satisfy Krishna and Guru. We do it at the right time, at the right place. Where are you on that? Austerity. This is doing tapasya. Everybody should do some tapasya. And our tapasya in Kali Yuga is Ekadashi. So I'm hoping everybody's following Ekadashi. Ekadashi means we fast from grains and beans every 2 weeks. So if our austerity is performed foolishly and it's really hurting ourselves, like Hiranyakashipu, he performed really horrible austerity. 10,000 years he stood and his body was completely destroyed. So he didn't just suffer himself, but he made the Paramatma within him suffer. Mark yourself for 3. If you do austerity to gain respect or honor, look, this person, he does so much tapasya, and we get popular because of that, then that's passion. Get number 2 for that. If we're doing tapasya without any, performed with faith, without desire for material benefits, and these tapasya can be cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence, offering respects to the devatas, the Brahmins, the mother and father, speaking nicely, truthfully, and living simply, self-controlled. Mark yourself for 1. And that austerity, which is simply done to satisfy Krishna or the Supreme Lord, that's 0. That's a nice one. So Ekadashi, some people do it to lose weight. So that's passion. Some people do it to help the body, to detox the body. That's goodness, actually. Some do it just to please the Lord. That's number 1. That's 0 rather. Pure goodness. Okay, worker. We work, we cheat, we're lazy, we're morose, and we insult others while we're working. Expert in insulting, ignoring the scriptures. Then that's number 3. If we attach the fruits, I'm working, it's my wages, and I'll spend it how I want to spend it. We're greedy, envious, unclean. That's number 2. Goodness, we work, but we're not necessarily swayed by success. Of if they don't give me a bonus, what to do? It's not a big deal. At least I got air to breathe and water to drink and food to eat. Free from material attachments. So you're not attached to the fruits of labor. That's number 1, goodness. And pure goodness is where one works actually for Krishna, for the Supreme Lord, serves the Supreme Lord and his Guru and devotees under the guidance of the Guru. Any questions, any issues, anything that's not easy to understand? It's not easy to understand, I have to say. Sometimes it's very difficult to know where to mark ourselves.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know? And another thing is, in this society, it's difficult to go through all of this, and then which position. And that's the main thing. And question is, how we can cross this ocean, Samsara ocean, in this Kali Yuga ocean.
Sure, yeah, that's right. So this is an idea. If we know where we are, honestly, we know where we are, then we can try to improve. If we don't even know which mode we're in, if we don't even know what the modes are, then how will we progress? So this exercise is simply to understand, where are we, honestly where we are. And if we work out honestly where we are, we got to,
How can we improve?
How can we improve? Yeah, well done. That's good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Very good. So if you don't know where you are, for example, then mark yourself in the worst place. You know, like say, if you're working, and of course, you know, you're getting a salary and you are attached to the salary, or maybe not so attached because you got a family and actually you're doing it for the family. So that could fall between passion and goodness. In that situation, if you're not very sure, mark yourself as passion. Do the worst case, then we can improve on that. Okay, renunciation. So giving up things consists of giving up one's prescribed duties due to illusion. So renunciation, yes, I'm renounced. I'm a policeman as a thief, and I'm not going to do my job. Why should I punish a thief? Well, it's your job. You're meant to punish the thief. You're meant to catch him, not let him go. So that would be ignorance. Renunciation in the mode of passion consists of giving up one's prescribed duties because of fear or because they appear troublesome. It's so hard to do this job. I give up. If that's the mood one has when we are doing something, mark yourself a 2. Renunciation in the mode of goodness consists of performing one's duties because they ought to be done. Yes, it's hard, but I don't care. I'll do my best. And abandoning attachment to the fruits. I may fail, but what to do, it doesn't matter. If I fail, I fail. At least I've tried to do my best. That's the number 1. And pure goodness, we do our duty in Krishna consciousness, employing the fruits of one's work for the satisfaction of Krishna. So we try to, our renunciation is we renounce perhaps this world, or try to renounce this world, but we do it in view of Krishna, in view of bhakti. So anything done in bhakti is actually renouncing this world. But we're living in this world, and yet we're using everything in this world for the service of the Lord. That is pure goodness. That's very nice. So we're not giving up this world. We're using whatever facility is given by the Lord to us in this world, but we're using it for Him. That's real renunciation. Knowledge, very meager. Don't have any knowledge. unrelated to the supreme absolute truth, with no idea as a God. And we're only concerned with eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, like the animals. And none of us are in this category. Passion is where it gives rise to speculative doctrines and theories that through which one sees the body as the self and consciousness as a temporary byproduct of the body. So we're thinking, when this body dies, I'll die with it. That's passion. Yeah. Goodness sees the body different from the soul. So he can see, actually, I'm not this body. Actually, I'm not this body. But he doesn't have the vision of pure goodness. Pure goodness is where one sees oneself as the eternal servant of Krishna or God. And that's number 0. So if you see yourself as eternal servant of Krishna, that's 0. If you see, yes, I am different from my body, but you haven't quite connected it with Krishna, then it's number 1. So action, what is action in mode of ignorance? Irresponsible, violent, distressing to others, to ourselves, illusion, without consideration of spiritual injunctions, causes further bondage, results in foolishness. In the mode of passion, that action will be performed by ego with great effort to satisfy one's desire. I did this with my wonderful effort. And I want recognition. In goodness, one does action as a matter of duty, not attached, no love, no hate, and one can renounce the fruits of one's action. That results in purification. That's number 1. It's really good. But if one does action just to please God and his devotees, that's 0. That's fantastic. Any action it does it to serve the Lord. Okay, now this is a little bit more black and white, if you like. Time of day. What is the best time of day for you? Is it night? Is that when you wake up? That's ignorance. Is it during the day? Day is best for you, from 12 till 6. Or morning. Is the morning the best for you? Early morning, 4 till 8. Then that's goodness. Or anytime you're serving Krishna. That's pure goodness. At any time. Okay, coming to the end now. Understanding. What is our understanding? Is in the mode of ignorance. Understanding that's in the mode of ignorance, we will consider irreligion to be religion. I can kill in the name of religion. He is not my religion, so I'll kill him and I'll go to heaven. That's ridiculous. That's madness. Understanding in the mode of passion is where one is misguided or imperfect or cannot understand the distinction between religion and irreligion, have lost that distinction between truth and untruth. What should be done should not be done. So I'm just trying to think of an example. Can you think of an example? Understanding in the mode of passion. So we don't understand whether I have to go to work, but I'm not feeling like going to work. So according to understanding the mode of passion, it's okay. I'll just tell them I'm sick and I'll just chill out at home. That's in the mode of passion. So can't really distinguish between truth and untruth. However, goodness is, the understanding is that I'll do what I have to do. And I'll do it under the scriptural directions. I know what is to be feared and what is not to be feared. I'll fear sinful activities and I'll do righteous activities. I know what is going to liberate me, and I know what is going to bind me to this world. That's good, number one. Pure goodness, however, the understanding is that always perfectly considers Krishna through personal realization, confirmed by the scriptures and the spiritual master. So that's the best. 0 if one is in that status. Our determination, how strong are we? In ignorance, cannot go beyond daydreaming. Can't do anything. Always fearful, always sad, morose, and in illusion. That's number 0. That's number 3, sorry. Number 2, passion in determination is it's fixed upon securing the fruits of religion, economic development, and sense gratification. Only if I get paid will I go to work. Of course, if one didn't get paid, one wouldn't go to work. I do understand that. But say the boss asks, stay a couple of hours extra. I won't pay you anything, but do it as a favor to the company. If you do it, that's not passion. That's not passion. If you say, no, I leave at 5 on the dot, whether my work is done or not, that might be passion. Oh, of course, circumstances. It all depends on circumstances. Goodness, practically unbreakable, sustained with steadfastness by yoga, which controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses. Determination is so strong that we cannot be shaken. So hardship comes, but determination is not given up. That's more goodness, number 1. And that goodness, that determination where no matter what, no matter how difficult it is, and it is difficult to remain in God consciousness. It is very, very difficult. But no matter how hard it is, we'll stay fixed in God consciousness. That's 0. That's really good. Pure goodness. Okay, nearly there. Happiness. Now, in the mode of ignorance, that happiness comes from being blind to self-realization, delusion from beginning to end. And it comes from sleep, laziness, and illusion. I don't think anybody's in that category. Passion is, it may be nectar in the beginning, but it's poison at the end. So what does that mean? Like a gulab jamun, right? You eat 1, lovely. Eat 2, okay. Eat 3, not so nice. Eat 4, feel sick. That's passion. So we do something, we enjoy happiness, happy in the beginning, and it turns into misery at the end. Yeah. So you're playing a game. In the beginning it's good, in the end you're so addicted to it, you keep playing it, but you don't feel good. So don't need happiness. Yeah. And then the mode of goodness is, it may be hard in the beginning, but it's going to turn into nectar at the end because you've controlled your mind and your senses. So very much meditation falls into this category. It's very difficult in the beginning to control the mind through meditation. But if one tries, then in the end, it will work out in very nicely. Be happy in the end. Chanting is an example. In the beginning, to chant the Mahamantra is very difficult. It's almost like poison. But then, as one gets to chant better and with understanding, it turns into happiness and nectar. So that's 1. 0 is derived from service rendered by a purified soul to the Supreme Personality of God in an eternal loving relationship. ever increasing ecstasy, unparalleled by any mundane emotion or experience. So we read the Bhagavad Gita, and every time we read it, we might read the same thing again and again. Doesn't matter, we're happy. We get more and more joy, more and more understanding. That's really good. That's a zero. So happiness always continues. Colors. Blue, of course, Krishna was blue, or color of a dark rain cloud anyway. But if one is attached to the color blue, that's indicative of ignorance. Red, indicative passion. Yellow is indicative of goodness. And white is indicative of pure goodness. So whichever color you like, you can mark yourself. Okay, so can I ask everybody to tot it up? And we're going to pick on somebody. JNT, tot it up. Tot it up. Did everybody try to do this? I hope you did. I forgot actually. Wow, that's good. Very good.
Prabhuji, yours should be 0 only.
No, unfortunately, I am definitely not 0, but probably between 16 and 30 somewhere.
I am 18, Prabhuji.
Wow, that's good.
That's really good.
That's good. 18 is good, Mataji. Top level of goodness. From there, it said from goodness, it's easy to go to pure goodness. Anybody else like to read? Mr. Saha,
Yeah.
where are you in this?
No, I didn't count it. I prepared, but I am enjoying. I am so enjoying. Enjoying
Okay.
means I understand. Oh, so nice your explanation.
Okay.
Perfectly, totally perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
I like.
Anyway, let's pick on Surinder.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Krishna.
Prabhu, Nitai Gaur Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
I
I'm
got
expecting you near 0.
no 35.
No. I don't believe that at all.
I am a Visai, so it is
No,
automatically between
right.
31 and 45. Nitai Gaur Haribol.
I don't believe you at all. But actually, it's a good point. You should mark yourself down. That's a good point. And that way, you will have that. You'll have a mood of improving. I like that actually. Anybody else would like to reveal any scores? You're welcome to. We won't laugh, honest. No brave soldiers out there. I don't blame you, actually. All right. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can go to the next. I think the next section is just one. It's just the last section anyway, from number 19. Anybody like to read? In English?
Read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Kaushali Maj, go for it, go for it. Okay, so Shruti Devi, please go for it.
Yes, Prabhuji. Are you sharing your screen, Prabhuji? Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati.
When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes, by attains my spiritual nature.
Gunan etan atityatrin देहि देह समुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्युजरा दुःखैर् विमुक्तो मृत्युम् अश्नुते.
When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distress, and can enjoy nectar even in this life.
अर्जुन उवाच कैर्लिङ्गैस्त्रीन् गुणान् एतान् अतीतो भवति प्रभो किम् आचारः कथं चैतां स्त्रीन् गुणान् अतिवर्तते.
Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature?
श्रीभगवान् उवाच प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहम् एव च पाण्डव न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति उदासीनवद् आसीनो गुणैर्यो न चाल्यते वर्तन्त इत्येवं योऽवतिष्ठति नेङ्गते समदुःख सुख स्वस्थः समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो धीरः तुल्यनिन्दात्म संस्तुतिः मानापमानयोस्तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः सर्वारम्भ परित्यागी गुणातीतः स उच्यते.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the lump of earth, knowing that the mode alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards the alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature.
मां च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते.
One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च.
And I am the basis of this impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and he is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
Shruti, you'd like to finish the invocation?
Oh, this is the last verse. Is it, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
I
this is the last
didn't
one.
realize. I apologize. I did not read it.
That's okay.
Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre
Scared look.
Krishnarjuna Samvade Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Chaturdashodhyayah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, that was so
Hare
amazing.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. So nice to hear your respect. Yeah, respect to the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Fantastic. So this is the key verse, number 26. One who engages in bhakti unfailingly transcends the three modes of material nature at once and comes to the level of Brahman. So this is the trick. Krishna is giving the formula of how to escape from these three modes of material nature. So let's have a quick look at this. Although goodness is said to be the most progressive of the three, it still implicates one in the law of karma. So one may be in the mode of goodness. Yeah? One may have many attributes which are good qualities: peaceful, sinless, calm, kind, etc., etc. Wonderful qualities. But still, the acts done in the mode of goodness, although they will lead to higher planets, and they're all good karma, there's still karma within this world. So it's still trapped in this world. The explanation given, example given is whether one has gold cuffs, handcuffs, bronze handcuffs, or silver handcuffs, or bronze handcuffs. They're all handcuffs. They're still tied to this prison house of material world. So the idea is that even if one is in the mode of goodness, we need to become better. At least we should come to the stage of the mode of goodness, for no doubt about that. But from the mode of goodness, it's much easier to step into the world of Krishna, of the mode of pure goodness. So to become completely free of karmic reactions, one must transcend even the mode of goodness and become situated on the spiritual platform. The problem with the mode of goodness is one gets a sense of happiness, pleasure, satisfaction in this world. And that's dangerous because that will keep us in this world. This is only possible by engaging in bhakti yoga with unflinching determination, taking inspiration and support from those who have already transcended the three modes. And who are they? They're the gurus, Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara, the great sages. They're our inspiration. Krishna explains the character of such perfected transcendentalists who enjoy nectar even in this life. So the lesson to learn from this is to understand that performing bhakti is above the three modes of material nature. Bhakti is highest. Bhakti is nothing to do with this world. It's connected to the spiritual world. And this is it's a bit of a heavy diagram, but how to transcend the modes? By pure devotion, one can transcend and achieve Brahman realization. What is it? The solution is transfer the consciousness to Krishna's activities, called bhakti yoga. Don't disturb our consciousness by the three modes of material nature. We must understand that all forms of Krishna Nrsimha, Rama, Kalki, they're omnipotent, they're omniscient, they're transcendental, Satchidananda. Service to any of these forms is transcendental. So it's very important to understand there's only one God, but he has many different forms and they're all spiritual. And to understand the importance of seva, service with unflinching determination to any form helps to overcome the modes. This is the point. No matter how difficult it is, if we have this mood of seva, and I'll give you an example of somebody who had this mood of seva. My spiritual master, he had so many challenges in his life. When he became sannyasi, his family was so upset with him. And one time he went to India and they wanted to have him killed. But he was never deterred in his seva. He never gave up in his determination to serve the Lord. He had a quadruple bypass operation in 1988. And it wasn't the end of his activities or his life. In fact, after the operation, he immediately, after a few weeks recovery, he started preaching and he went all around the world. Before that, he'd never gone around the world. But after that, he started going around the world and he went around the world many, many times. Never stopped. So this is determination. Seva with determination. No matter how hard it is, we serve, continue to serve. And it will be hard. This world is very, very cruel. Very, very cruel. This coronavirus, for example, will not care whether one is young or old, black or white, right? Male or female. So life is very cruel. But if we stay engaged in service, then we'll transcend the cruelty of this world. Now, what is a qualification to serve? Don't need any qualification. To be in Krishna consciousness, it means to be qualitatively one with Krishna. It's just like the gold mine and the particle of gold. So it's a little bit like a spark of fire and the fire. It's the same. The fire is huge, the spark is so small. That's the only difference. So we're like the spark. We are a part and parcel of Krishna, who is the fire. And what is the qualification? To serve Krishna is to become Brahman. Brahman implies to be freed from material contamination. So we try. Of course, we are fully contaminated in materialism in this world, but we make the effort. We just try. And that's all we can do. Just make an effort. And we are very fortunate because we can serve the Lord in whatever capacity we are in. No matter what talent or ability we have, we can serve the Lord. Sudama had nothing, but he served the Lord with his friendship. Gajendra had no intelligence, but he served the Lord with his prayer. There's so many examples where outwardly that person has no qualification whatsoever, but yet they pleased the Lord with their service. Prahlad Maharaj was only 5, a little boy, yet he pleased the Lord so much. Dhruv Maharaj, similarly, was only a little boy, yet he managed to bring the Lord before his eyes. So we may feel we don't have any qualifications, and actually that's a right attitude, the right mood. I am not qualified in any way to serve you, but I am so grateful that you are allowing me to chant your holy names. Thank you so much, my dear Lord. That humility will please the Lord, will help us get closer to the Lord. So I wanted to stop there, unless there are any questions, any comments. Anybody like to share anything or ask anything? You're welcome to. Kaushalya Maaji, anything you'd like to ask?
No, Prabhuji, so well explained.
Okay.
Very
Thank
well
you.
explained. Yes, very nice, Prabhuji. My eyes are opened. My mind is opened.
They're already open.
No, now it's open now. You have opened it, Prabhuji, properly. Oh my God. Yes.
But don't feel it's beyond reach. It isn't. It's very, very close to us, by the mercy of Guru, we
Yes,
have these
Prabhuji.
blessings, and we're very fortunate, actually.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Shruti, anything you'd like to add?
Thanks as always, Prabhuji, for the opportunity to participate in this wonderful chanting every Friday.
Thank you. We owe you the thanks.
I owe you the thanks for allowing me to participate and do whatever I can. It's a blessing. I every time I think, oh, we've come so far. I think I joined in when we were on chapter 3 or 4.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't recall participating the full chanting of chapter 3 or 4. I think it was only partial. And then I think chapter 5 onwards it was complete.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, I it feels so good when I think we've come such a long way. 5 to
Yeah. 14. That's amazing. And just like to remind everybody that Shruti will be giving pravachan on an amazing deity and temple on Sunday at 3:30 on Padmanabh Swami. Is that right?
Padmanabha Swami, yeah.
So,
Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple of in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala.
looking
I
forward to it.
It's one of my favorite temples. It's been very long since we went there. I think it was 2010 or 2011 when we last visited there. But it's a beautiful temple. It's got so much. It's a wonderful temple. I am excited to be. I'm looking forward to Sunday to share it with all the.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. Thank you.
And the Dashavtar Stotram as well, Prabhuji, I think.
Yes, let's go for it. And if you want, you can have a separate session on that. But anyway, let's see how we go. Because
let's see how it goes.
yeah, and I love you to even go through each of the verses as well. So anyway,
I'll try. I'll prepare the content for it, and if we have the time, we can do it on Sunday, or else at any other time that suits you.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.